In Episode 13 of the Kerb-X Interplanetary Space Program, 3 of the program's newest and most advanced spacecraft journey forth to the distant gas giant Sarnus. The first craft to depart is an orbital space station, based off the successful Dress automated mining facility. Though the station contains a habitat for the mission, no crew are on board for the flight to Sarnus itself. On the ground, the spaceplane Nineveh begins final flight checks and spools up its jet engines. The enormous size of the craft requires the main engine to make it into the upper sections of the atmosphere, where it gains speed through jet power alone. Nineveh first achieves a stable orbit, and then prepares to meet up with the refueling dock in high Kerbin orbit. Meanwhile, in orbit around the Mun, the Huygens Legacy lander departs the Oberon testing facility, where it conducted its trial landings. Additional mission assets for this vehicle are located at the refueling facility, where it will also prep for departure to Sarnus. Nineveh docks with the refuel station and tops off its tanks for the long journey. Arriving not long after its spaceplane counterpart, Huygens Legacy prepares to dock and attach additional modules for the Tecto expedition in Sarnus orbit. The design of the Huygens Legacy differs greatly from the Nineveh, as it is intended to operate exclusively in the vacuum of space and will remain at Sarnus at the mission's conclusion. Its 3-man crew will use the Nineveh to return to Kerbin. With the package secured, the lander departs. The weight of both assets are designed specifically to ease transfer burns, and the fuel located in the Tecto mission pod is necessary to complete the journey. Once the craft arrives at the station in Sarnus orbit, it will refuel these tanks for its mission. Sarnus is the third largest body in the Kerbal system, behind Jool and the Sun itself. Further from Kerbin than the previously visited Jool, Sarnus has a beautiful and unique set of rings that set it apart from its green cousin. The station jettisons its outer fuel tanks during its retrograde burn, and modifies its orbit to intercept Sarnus' moon Slate. Upon arrival, remaining fuel is shifted and the station's panels deploy. The station remains in stable orbit and awaits the arrival of manned spacecraft to inhabit it. Sarnus' moon Slate is larger than both Dress and the Mun, with substantially stronger surface gravity, which required small modification to our mining probe's design so that they could mine the valuable ore on the surface. The surface of Slate shows evidence of an atmosphere at an earlier stage in the moon's life. Hugin's Legacy arrives in system not long after, performing similar maneuvers and jettisoning its auxiliary tanks. These are no longer needed as the lander, like the station before it, will not return to Kerbin. As Tecto mission fuel was used for the transfer to Sarnus, the lander docks with the Slate station to refuel these mission assets. Meanwhile, the Nineveh arrives in orbit around Sarnus. Unlike the previous craft, Nineveh is built for atmospheric entry, and saves a great deal of fuel by using Sarnus' atmosphere to slow itself. With Nineveh en route, the crew aboard Huygens Legacy departs for operations in Slate orbit, with the lander itself beginning the Tecto mission. One of the crew pilots the Hornet, the newest generation of the successful Bumblebee platform, and performs a scan of Slate for potential mining locations. The last to arrive at the station, the Nineveh spacecraft slowly drifts towards the habitat. With all of the mission craft now in place, crew prepare to begin exploration in the Sojourn to Sarnus. Soon, the team will perform its first visit to Tecto, exploration of Slate's surface, and the establishment of lunar mining. All this and more on the next episode of the Kerb-X Interplanetary Space Program.